War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. This is volume 3, chapter 14. So, this chapter gives an overview from the army's point of view and them marching into battle. So, on the morning of the battle, all of the soldiers are very excited, morale is high, and they're expected to move to the village of Prexin, and near the village of Prexin in the Prexin Heights, which is a hill. And all these soldiers need to be there by 9 o'clock. So these soldiers have to get moving. All the generals order the soldiers to march to their destination. And while they're marching, the soldiers are marching to their destination. The thick fog is very thick and obstructs all the soldiers' view. The soldiers who march into the thick fog with very high morale and excited about their battle keep walking until after a while they start to question themselves, and in this thick fog can have an effect on soldiers' morale, and these soldiers start to think if they're lost or not. The generals who have ordered the soldiers to march towards their destination are in fact very dissatisfied with their orders, and all they have to do is do what they're told. But the soldiers, they want to experience the battle. They're excited, but the generals are not. And so when one general comes over and talks to one of the soldiers, asking what unit they're from, and the soldiers responding that they're being from the 18th regiment, and the general being getting angry and saying that these soldiers should have gone more in the front, should have been further closer to their destination. And then he rides off angrily, and these soldiers also get pissed off too, in saying it's all the Germans' fault, and all the Germans' fault. And so all these soldiers are now very, 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 very unhappy. And so the morale quickly goes down, and all these soldiers who blame it on the Germans don't know the actual situation. And it's because of the thick fog, they don't know whether they're going in the right direction or not, and whether how close the enemy is to them. Right now, Russian soldiers are marching towards their destination with a very low morale, and probably they might not even want to go to the battle anymore. But in reality, the situation is that the cavalry regiment has to come before the infantry, and so all the infantry have to wait for the cavalry to go first, and that causes a delay of 1 hour of the soldiers' time. The soldiers' time have been wasted, and they are not happy. And the fact is that they haven't met the enemy yet, and already already the Russian army seems to be very disorganized, and it doesn't look like that they look like a very prepared, very good preparation anymore. And the soldiers who have waited for the cavalry eventually got to their destination. And while they were almost at while they're walking along, they heard gunshots, and the gunshots were very, very inaccurate at first, but became more accurate the more the soldiers in the front started shooting more gunshots, and at this point it looks like that the enemy has already confronted the Russian army, but that's not the case. And the soldiers, they keep moving, and they get to the point where Kutuzov's army is already at Pratzen Heights, which is on top of the hill, and the soldiers are moving downhill to get to the Pratzen Heights hill. And while they're moving, they can already see Napoleon's army on the other side of the hill. Napoleon's army is very clear, and they can see Napoleon who is at the very front, and his army at the back just waiting for them. The soldiers who walk down don't think that Napoleon can see them because of the fog, and so they go down to their destination, to Pratzen Heights. And once all the soldiers have decided to go down to the hill, Napoleon's army is there just waiting, not doing anything. Napoleon, at this point, he's the one who is waiting for the soldiers to get into a position. The reason why he waits is because this is his anniversary of his coronation to becoming the emperor or the king. And so he does have his standards, and he wants to wait and maybe have a more honorable battle instead of just attacking readily, even though he could be that. And if he had done that, the Russian army probably already have been destroyed. And from last chapter, Napoleon had already found out the Russian troops' strategy, and so this is another reason why he waits. And once all of the soldiers have gathered at the hill, Napoleon raises his hand, and instructs all of his troops who are behind him to go in various directions. Now the battle has officially started. Napoleon takes out his saber, and charges forward. That is the end of chapter 14. Yeah.